settle in because we're going to head back to the pit area of this legend and get some invaluable lessons as to how Rickey goes so fast on a stock wheelbase machine. This man has been racing since the early 80s. Anytime we get a chance to talk to him, it is incredibly valuable.
The multi-time champion showing off his skills, Rickey Gadson. We got a 2019 ZX10 stock wheelbase, the way you like it. We got some great footage of you getting it done up there. You know, we're trying to give people some insight into what it takes to get one of these down the track. What could you pass on?
Well, I feel like I don't know what it takes to get it down the track anymore. I mean, this bike is so fast and so frustrating at the same time because it makes 207 horsepower and it's stock wheelbase, so you can't open the throttle till top of second gear. But all the time you're trying to open the throttle. The key to drag racing, of course, and the things I teach people and my students is to get the throttle open as fast as you can, which is literally impossible with a stock wheelbase bike making this much horsepower. And then with that, the front wheel's constantly skimming the ground or off the ground, and then it wants to push the front end out from underneath you. So yesterday I went 905 was my fastest pass at 162, but I could not make a run without cutting gas because I felt like I was gonna crash every run from it pushing the front wheel. So I just got to get it figured out. This is like
time, if you could, we had Brock Davison do this. Could you show me your routine on the bike here real quick? Stock wheelbase bike.
Well, with any stock wheelbase bike, the key is to, even on the 14s with the arms on it, the key is to load the motor. Any free play in the clutch needs to be eliminated. I call it getting into the friction zone. So if I put it in gear, I can show you what that means. If I put it in gear, so it's in gear now, right? So all of this here is free play. When you're in the friction zone, when you leave in the friction zone, there's engagement. There's where the clutch starts to engage there. So long as the clutch is not creeping on you when you set your RPMs, as long as the bike isn't creeping on you, you're good. So you leave from there so that when you leave, any initiation of the clutch loads the motor. And that's the key. You have to load the motor. Because if the RPM goes when you leave, it's going to be a bad run. Because if you let the clutch go, you can get the clutch 90% out your hand. That last 10%, if you let it go too quick, the front end's up in the air.
Don't lose that time slip.
The front end's up in the air and the run's wasted.
I like it.
So you have to load the motor. So when you start letting the clutch go, the RPMs need to drop. As you're accelerating, the right and the left hand have to work together. No, the right hand doesn't lead, the left hand doesn't lead. You initiate clutch and throttle at the same exact time, load the motor, get the clutch out your hand, and do everything else with your throttle hand. So you modulate the front wheel with the throttle hand. When the front wheel starts to come up, you stop the throttle hand, and when it starts to come back down, you continue progressive motion of the throttle. I ride this way because I use this finger as my gauge as to if you pull. Most people do this. If they leave from here, they got from here to there where the bike doesn't do anything. But if you're doing everything right here, from there to there, your throttle hand's moving. So instead of leaving at 5,000 RPMs, by the time you get engagement, you're already at 7,000 RPMs. You want to leave at whatever target RPM you pick. You want to leave at that RPM. So if you get rid of the free play, I use my finger to make sure that I don't pull the bar in but so far, and then I set my clutch to engage right off my finger. So as soon as I initiate clutch and throttle, it pulls the RPM down, get the clutch out my hand, and then the RPM goes back up.
I love it. Can I see one time about how fast you would let out the clutch?
Well, you can't do that. People ask me that all the time. It's impossible because it's a feel thing. It all depends on what the front wheel is doing, if the RPMs come down, if the RPMs spike up. It's a feel thing. But I will tell you that most people's biggest mistakes is that they start slow here because they're scared to wheel it. They start slow here. Well, you got to get a mass of 590 pounds or 700 pounds, whatever you're riding. You gotta get that mass to lunge that first 20 feet as quick as possible. So your initial clutch movement is probably 40% quick, and then the rest progressive.
Interesting.
And that's what I was telling you when I was talking to you that day. As hard as it is to believe, you have to be able to do this without doing that. You have to do that with the first 40%, and then the rest 60% is progressive motion.
I love it. Let me see that one more time.
Your initial movement has to be quick, and then the rest is...
I love it. One time, let me see what you're doing with the... How soon do you get that throttle lock?
It's going to be the same thing. So we're revving here. Let's say we're at 4% throttle, right? It's going to be that, and then that. All depends on what the front wheel is doing. But that initial snap of the throttle has to be snap.
Wow.
Cycle Drag Universe, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your feedback. We love reading each and every comment. Please make sure you subscribe to Cycle Drag on YouTube, like cycledrag.com on Facebook, and check it out. Because of you, we're over 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, making that climb to 200,000. I need your help. If you have any friends who you think may want to be a part of this journey, tell them to subscribe, and I promise you, we'll keep bringing you impressive, high horsepower, exciting motorcycles from all over the world. Thanks so much, guys.
Hey guys, this is WWE superstar Zack Ryder, and when I'm not winning championships or collecting action figures, I'm on YouTube watching Cycle Drag and going to cycledrag.com. And also when you're on YouTube, go to the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast. All right, Cycle Drag on YouTube, cycledrag.com.
Thanks so much to the Long Island IC and Rickey Gadson. I hope you found this video educational and informative. Leave us your questions and comments in the feedback. Make sure you subscribe to Cycle Drag on YouTube, like cycledrag.com on Facebook. And you know, if there's fast motorcycles or tips involved, we're in. Cycle Drag rolls on.